Ain't nothing wrong with the law.
I find it's another
The
law.
law is good.
But there's
another law
working
in my
member.
In this flesh.
You can choose to overlook or neglect the other thing.
That's why Jesus knows what he's talking about. He said, scarcely the rich man gonna be able to make it. It's hard for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven than it is for a camel to go through the eye of the needle. And the eye of the needle is a place over in that land where the camel had to unload.
Right.
They had to strip that camel down and he had to bow.
Yes.
Before he could go through that.
Go through. And that's the case with a lot of Christians.
Yeah. Strip yourself down to, remember what he said, strip yourself all the way down to where you ain't got nothing. Strip yourself all the way down to where even the poorest of the poor got more than you got. Even the dumbest of the dumb is smarter than you.
Me and God did this. And you mean to tell me you want me to give it to him? He said, yeah. He said, I can't do that.
Can't do that. And the scripture said he went away real sad. He left. He had to leave.
Because he knew the truth.
Because he knew the truth, but he wasn't willing to do it.
God, but you can't do it. Hi, this is Pat and Katie Jordan of Life Church Ministries of South Carolina, letting you know that together we can change and touch our world.
Where every eye gonna see Christ when he returns. You know the way every eye gonna see Christ when he returns? Because God gonna cause things to happen and transpire that man can't fix. And can't nobody fix but God. And God gonna be the one that fix it. And so when God reveals Jesus Christ, man gonna know. That's how it came about. For every eye shall see him, and they'll see him as he is.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't just say some of our eyes. It said every eye. Mm-hmm. Every eye gonna see him as he is, and that's when every knee gonna bow. And that's when every tongue gonna confess that he is Lord to the glory of God. Just like Miss Massey said. A whole lot of them gonna have to confess it and go into hell.
Yeah, in that day.
In that day.
But I think we are even in a time now where I think there are people who are deceived.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who are not deceived. They know. Remember, it said the knee bows.
Yeah.
Which tongue confess every. But to me, it suggests something being done that had to be brought to the place.
Yes, it had to be brought to the place of that. It's going to have to come to that point.
There are people who know.
Some people have selective amnesia.
There are so many people. They know.
They know.
You
but
know
they like Paul
righteousness,
said.
And you know justice, and you know these things.
Ain't Paul talking to them in the 7th chapter of Romans? Ain't nothing wrong with the law.
I find it's another
so the law is good.
But there's another law working in my member.
In this flesh.
And even that's very evident of what we're dealing with in the body of Christ right now.
That's what we're dealing with right now.
It's another law.
It's another law that's working in our flesh.
Where at one moment you see. But the other law is allowing you to neglect. You can choose to overlook or neglect the other thing.
That's why Jesus knows what he's talking about. He said, scarcely the rich man gonna be able to make it. He said, when the other man was talking about what he do, I do this and I do this and I do that. Jesus sell all that you have and give it to the poor. Mm-hmm. Then he turned around and told him, he said, it's harder for a rich man to go through what it said than
Camel.
Camel.
The eye of a camel.
Harder for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven than it is for a camel to go through the eye of the needle.
Mm-hmm.
And the eye of the needle is a place over in that land where the camel had to unload.
Right.
They had to strip that camel down, and he had to bow.
Yes.
Before he could go through that.
Go through.
See, when a rich man gets to talking the truth and telling the truth, the enemy gonna bring up, what about all that stuff you stand to lose? Look at you. You got this and you got that. That's gonna be in his mind at all time, and it's something that he could say, he won't say.
That's why the perfect man, that Jesus, the rich young ruler, the perfect man.
He said.
He said.
Jesus told him what perfection
thou
really was.
Thou do as well.
Yeah, he said you do well.
But
one thing don't like it.
And that's the case with a lot of Christians.
Yes. Strip yourself down to, remember he said, strip yourself all the way down to where you ain't got nothing. Strip yourself all the way down to where even the poorest of the poor got more than you got. Even the dumbest of the dumb is smarter than you.
Give all you have to the poor. Now you really want to get a check? You really want to check yourself? Let me take all of my resources and give it to another.
No, yeah. Give all your resources to another. That's what Jesus told him to do.
You're poor and I'm rich.
Uh-huh.
He said, hold on. Let me fix you real quick. I want you to take your richness now, and I want you to bestow it upon that poor. Mm-hmm. The one who didn't earn it.
Mm-hmm. Who didn't will and deal with
it. He
didn't make it.
They didn't work like I did. They didn't apply God's principles like I did. Yeah. And all this kind of stuff. He said, take that. Rich young ruler, you do it all well. Take that and give it to him. Him? You mean to tell me everything I work for, everything I earn, everything God, me and you work this thing? Me and God did this. And you mean to tell me you want me to give it to him? He said, yeah. He said, I can't do that.
Can't do that. And the scripture said he went away real sad. He left. He had to leave.
Because he knew the truth.
Because he knew the truth, but he wasn't willing to do it.
God, but you can't do it.
That's why Jesus said that about him.
And there are people I know that maybe even be listening to what we're talking about. And at some point, in a way, it's all of us.
Yeah, it is. To a certain extent.
That's a deep one.
That's a
but
it cuts real deep.
It cuts real deep, but it will put you in a place of we talked the one time before about apathy.
Yeah.
Being able to understand the plight of your brother.
Yeah.
The whole reason Jesus came, the King came to serve. The Master came to serve. He said, come to seek and to save that which is lost. The one who was found, the found one, mm-hmm. come to seek and save the lost. Everything that embodies and personifies who Christ was. And that's what he's saying. Even if we might miss it sometimes, yeah. That is the essence of his spirit. And that's the essence of Christianity, should be. Can you put yourself in the place of another?
The place of another.
Can you bestow all of the things and put it in the hands of another? Because the closer you're able to do that, then he said the kingdom is not far off.
Yeah. He did.
The kingdom is not far from thee.
It's amazing.
Oh,
I said, Lord, if we read this word, every one of us, this word will smack us in the face.
Sure
it's a wake-up call for every one of us. I was trying to find where in Exodus that Moses cried out to the children of Israel at one point before they, before he gave them the law, I believe it was before the law. He said, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one Lord. Mm-hmm. And you got to love him with all your mind, all your heart, all your strength, and all your mind. And love your neighbor as yourself. Now that's Old Testament. Okay, we go back over to Matthew, the 22nd chapter. After he done give Moses the law, after all the prophets have spoken, whoo, David and them wrote all the Psalms and everything. Israel done been in and out of captivity. Mm-hmm. We done went through the 400 some years that they said there was no word that they could write or what from God. There was no word. Then all of a sudden, here comes Jesus back on the scene. Jesus come not back on the scene. Here comes Jesus on the scene, declaring he the Son of God. Blah 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 blah. Going through what he going through. Here we are in Matthew. Record Jesus as they question him. So the Lord just questioned him, and then the disciples questioned him. So which is the greatest law? What is the greatest commandment? What is the greatest commandment in the law? They didn't just say commandment. What is the greatest commandment in the law? So they referred all the way back to Moses, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the greatest commandment in the law? And Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart. Same thing he told the children of Israel when they started out on their journey out of Egypt. Same thing. And with all your soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second, in other words, it's summed up in these two, is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. That's tight.
Like unto it.
Like unto it.
Like unto it.
Just like it. Mm. That's why the rich young ruler had to walk away. He said, I don't love my neighbor. I don't love my neighbor like I love myself. I ain't keep my neighbor all my stuff.
No. But I love the Lord my God with all my heart and my mind and my strength and my soul. I love the Lord.
He ain't getting everything I don't work hard for. No. He said, love your neighbor as yourself. He said, on these two commandments. In other words, hang all this book. Mm-hmm. Hang all the law. All the prophets on these two. Nothing else you saying make any difference. Nothing else you saying gonna justify you except you obey these. Mm-hmm. You can't justify yourself no other kind of way. You got to obey these.
Yep.
And we keep trying to justify ourselves. Hey, it ain't just a rich man. It's us that may have a little money in the bank. That's got a little prestige, or got a little education, or may have a little title or whatever. It's all of us.
It's all of us. Yeah. This is what we all have to think.
Cause what if God tell me you go down there to where the prostitutes and all them people that you don't like necessarily think they doing right, or they'll not be doing this, or they don't know God or whatever. Go down and get all them. Bring them all to your house, the ones you can bring, and tell them you're going to give it all to them. I'm going to sell everything I have in this house, and I'm just going to turn my house into a place for all of us can be in here equal. Katie?
Some hard.
It's hard.
Say it's a hard thing, Lord.
It's a hard thing. Well, they said. They told him. That young ruler told him, said, that's a hard thing.
But I think even if you find yourself, that's a hard thing. What I like about what I like about God's Spirit, those who are called by the Spirit of God, and trying to walk and yield to His Spirit, it may not be perfect.
Yeah.
But it's something you can move and walk
in.
Walk toward.
But then, Patrick, He ain't really telling you do this. But be willing, have that kind of mindset.
Right. These things got to be said.
Have that kind of mindset and have that kind of heart that you would do it just like Jesus. He laid down his life for us. He was willing.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, now Jesus said it's hard.
Nevertheless.
Jesus said this a bitter cup. Jesus even said.
He said.
He said it. And the Lord is telling us to have that same mind that Jesus had when he said, nevertheless, not my will. But if God spoke this to us, we can understand it. And we trying to figure out, well, we got to come to a place where we say, Lord, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't understand it. But nevertheless, if that's what you want me to do.
Nevertheless.
I'll do it.
Nevertheless, they have a right.
They have a right
to this.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless,
I can't
they should be helped. Or nevertheless, I mean, I think a lot of Christians, a lot of people are really, why should I help them when they or this or that or they hadn't,
They had the opportunity to do it for themselves. They didn't do it. They done wasted away and they done throw away everything. They could have done this thing just like I could. Yeah.
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 But nevertheless.
We weren't guilty and Jesus died for us. Oh, Lord. Huh?
Nevertheless.
It's mind-boggling. Everything that they accused him of, and he took, we were guilty. But then he took it all that guilt on himself and he died. So we wouldn't have to. We were guilty and we deserved death. But he died so we wouldn't have to.